So, good afternoon and welcome back, everyone. Today I would like to talk about the urban environment we live in today. Like, for instance, even where we are today. So, we are surrounded by buildings, we are surrounded by traffic, we are surrounded by concrete. So, in such a scenario, I feel we ourselves as parents have lost our real connect to the soil, the forest, or the field, or the village. And our children a little more, because I remember as a kid, I used to go to my grandma's house, which was in a small town in Palghat in Kerala. And they had orchards and fields. And so I had that connect to nature. Although I lived in a city, I lived all over India, but I had that connect where I could go in the summer holidays and be close to nature. But today, I think even grandparents live in the city. So our children really do not have that privilege. And in a way, we can say we have lost the touch, but in some ways, the nature is kind of invading into our urban world. Like today, we see peacocks, like we see pigeons. Like, for instance, we stay in Yapral, which is, you can say, a bit of a suburb of Hyderabad. And some people may not know where it is also. But in our community, we find peacocks on the road. So I feel the animals, the nature is kind of coming into our space. And maybe we are not able to really connect with them in a real way, and our children more so, because this is not an environment in which we have seen peacocks before or seen. And I think in Bangalore we heard of leopards which are coming into the city at night. So the wildlife is coming in here. And so I feel her book today is very relevant because it talks about animals and how in the urban environment, how do we kind of interact with these animals who are now kind of becoming part of urban life like us. So in our story today, we have a young college student who meets a mongoose at a wild rehab center and forms a close bond. So Abhisheka is an artist, an ecologist, an educator, and of course an author. She has worked with several leading conservation NGOs in India and has extensive experience in nature education, wildlife rehabilitation, and rescue. She's also closely associated with grassroots collectives which work in ecology and sustainable agriculture. Today, she takes us through an exciting story of a unique bond between a girl and a mongoose with an interactive craft session after that. So over to you, I'm sorry. over to you, Abhishek. I've been saying so many names for the last 3 days. I'm so sorry. So let's have some fun.
Thank you so much. Some art activity? Okay. Are you tired or? No? Okay. Okay, as you see here, there's a mongoose on the screen. Where do you think you can find mongooses? Can you find them in your city? No? How many of you think you can find them in your city? Yeah? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anybody behind? 6. Parents, how many of you think you can find them in your city in Hyderabad? Okay, there are few. All the others think the story that I'm going to tell you is a true story. The college student was none other than me when I was in college. Yes. So, when I was your age, I was very, very fond of animals. I really loved spending time with animals. And, I always wanted to learn their language. Like at home, I used to try and imitate dogs and cats with the hope that, they'll understand me and we can have a conversation. More than wanting to talk to people. And then when I went to college, so I was studying to be an artist. I was studying fine arts. I just felt like, I used to go to college, come back home. What do you all do when you go back home from school? You play? Homework? What else do you do? Huh? Read, okay. Sports, okay, what else? Huh? Uniform. After you come back from home, what do you do? Okay, what do you do during your summer holidays? Play, yes. Then, travel, yes. Games, yeah. Visit your relatives. Where do you go? Oh, call your friends and play. Yeah. You? Read. Okay. So, yeah, I used to do all these. Like, summer holidays, I would read, I would play, I would go to my grandparents' home, which was far from Bangalore. There also I would love to play. But then back in Bangalore, when I used to go to college and come back home, I just felt at one point that, I want to do something for animals. Yes, we had pets at home, we had dogs and cats, but I also wanted to help animals that were, injured, hurt. And so there was this organization very close to my college. It was called People for Animals. And then I just went there and I thought, okay, let me go and volunteer there and let me see if I can help out during my summer vacations. And then it turned out that they had another center very far from the city where they used to look after wild animals. Like, it was like an animal hospital, but for wild animals. And so one day I went there, it was like, very remote, surrounded by forest. And to my surprise, I saw so many wild animals there, from tortoises to snakes to squirrels and mongooses. And that was the first time I realized that but in this hospital there was no lion. I didn't see a lion. But then I realized that these were wild animals from my own city, from Bangalore. I thought Bangalore only had dogs and cats when I was a student. And then I'm seeing so many animals, and that was my entry into wildlife conservation. That was my, we just go to school, come back, and we think there is no wildlife in the city. But actually when we start seeing, we realize there's just so much wildlife. Okay? So this is the PFA office. The first day when I walked in, I saw people were like, they were getting calls saying there's a bird injured somewhere, there's a squirrel that has fallen off a tree, and this entire office was run by volunteers. Like, college students. All college students would come and spend time and handle all the work, picking up animals, taking it to the hospital far away, and attending calls. So it was all run by students. And then this was that remote wildlife center where I decided to go and help out during summer vacations. And after 2 months of, and you know what? When you're not used to working with wild animals, right? So initially they told me during my 2-month summer vacations, I should only clean cages and wash vessels, because just imagine if some animal, like wild animal, comes close to us, don't we get scared? We do, right? Because we don't know anything about that animal. It's the same thing for them. When human beings go very close to them, they get scared because they've never lived closely with humans, right? So naturally, these animals would get scared if a human being would go and pick them up or touch them. So we had to be very careful. So the people who are running the center had told me very clearly, because you have never been close to a wild animal, you should start with just observing them, understanding them from far off. So just help out with cleaning, washing, and then once you get very comfortable and the animals get comfortable with you, then you can start handling them closely. So I started off with learning to feed baby squirrels. So sometimes when trees are cut down, the nest of the squirrels fall off, and then sometimes the parents die, and then there are these baby squirrels we have to feed and hand raise. So all this is trained. So we cannot just like that go and pick up a wild animal and get it home and do these things. So you have to go through training, just like how a doctor goes through training to learn how to treat people, right? So you have to undergo training to also treat wild animals. So I started taking care of baby animals there. There were different kinds of baby animals, from squirrels to monkeys to mongooses. And that's where I met Ela. So Ela was this mongoose that I met in the center, in this wildlife hospital. And this is how she had come in. So in those days, when I was a child, when I was in college in Bangalore, they used to have snake charmers. So what snake charmers would do was, they would, for entertainment, they would have like snakes, cobras and mongooses in boxes, and then they would have the snake and mongoose fight to beg for money for entertainment. But now that doesn't happen anymore, because a lot of people who like animals stopped this. So Ela was one such animal which was with a snake charmer. They had taken her away from her parents, put her in this small wooden box, and wherever they wanted to go and beg for money, they would make her fight with another snake or something like that. Yes.
So they were abused by the snake charmer.
Yes, they were abused by the snake charmers. True, very true. See what all we humans do to animals sometimes, right? Yeah. So the organization, this hospital people, they were trying to help these animals from being abused, like you said. And that's how they had taken her away from the snake charmer, and here they were looking after her so that they can put her back into the wild. So we cannot keep these wild animals with us, on one hand because there is a law, very strict law in our country, especially in India, that we cannot keep wild animals at home. Secondly, it's also not good for them. Like how we want to live with our family, with our parents, with our own kind, they also want to live with their own kind, right? Their family. So for them it's nice that they like it when they are in the wild, in their own home. And so Ela was a juvenile in the sense almost like a teenager. So she didn't have to be hand-fed, she could eat on her own, but she was also free to roam around. So what she would do, she would eat her food in the morning, and because it was a forested area, she would just go roam around wherever she felt like, and in the night she would actually come back. And one thing that is not in the storybook is that she actually liked to come into my room where I used to sleep, and she would actually sleep on me, like near my neck, because she just loved the warmth of my, like a kitten, she actually used to sleep with me. And the first thing in the morning, she wanted to play. So early morning, so I was still a college student then, right? I told you I was going to college. So for me, my work was early morning, I had to wake up, I had to feed all the baby animals and then get ready and go to college. So, but then Ela would wake up and first thing she wanted to play. So I would be very sleepy, but she wouldn't leave me. She'll scratch and cry and put her claw into my ears, and first thing she just wanted me to play with her. So she was very playful. And she also liked playing with the other animals that were in the center. Now, how many of you have cats at home? You have cat? Anybody else behind? Okay. I see some people having cats. So have you seen cats behave like this? Yeah? When do they do that? When they're happy, okay? Huh? They like to cuddle, yes. Yeah? When else? Yeah?
See what they do, they actually tell you that you're mine.
Ah, lovely, yeah. So he's saying when they do that, they actually say that you're mine, yes. So cats do that to show love. They also sometimes do that to ask for food. When they're hungry, they come and they'll do that meow, meow. So Ela had similar habits like a cat. Whenever she wanted food, she would come and, beg us for food. She would go like, krr, krr, like that. That was the kind of sound she would make. And then she would beg us for food. And then, so we had a dog there. And you know what his name was? We had named him Tension. Can you guess why was he called Tension? What did you say?
Because he gives tension.
He gives tension. What did you say?
Because he wasn't tension.
He was tension. Okay. What else? He makes us tense. Okay.
He is very tense.
He is very tensed. Okay.
They make us smile.
Okay. So Tension was a dog, a puppy we had rescued from the street. A very sweet dog he was. He had a lot of wrinkles on his forehead. So he would always look tense. So we had named him Tension. But Tension Tension was the most sweetest dog we had because he loved all animals and all human beings. He just loved. And so this baby monkey, this picture is of this baby monkey riding over him. And then on the other hand, Ela would come and scratch him, and she was very playful, like a cat. Yes, Ela is below tension. So she would scratch him and then just run away. But the nicest thing is, Tension would get annoyed because all these animals keep troubling him. But I have a feeling he secretly enjoyed this attention of all animals.
He like scratches the tension.
Huh.
He would feel tension.
Ah,
That's why you named him tension.
okay, yeah.
I have a toy baby monkey.
Oh, lovely. You have a toy baby monkey.
I have a toy pig and duck.
Ah, lovely. Huh.
Among all the animals in the shelter, Tension is like the talk of the town.
Yes, Tension. Oh, that's actually true. So he says that among all the animals, Tension was the talk of the town, which is very true. Whoever met Tension, they would never forget him because he was such a funny dog, actually. Very cute dog. Okay, now this is another thing that Ela did. She loved black coffee. So, by mistake, if any of us left our coffee mug behind with even a bit of, coffee left, Ela would be there. She would always keep looking for people, and their coffee time. So, this is Ela drinking coffee from one of our coffee mugs. Okay, so I won't go too much into the story because I want you to read the storybook. But here's a picture. I just want to end this with this image. That's actually Ela with her baby. So, yeah, so I would like you to actually pick up the book and read more about what Ela did and also what happened to Ela at the end of it all. So, I'll end this here. But okay, this is a picture of me with all the animals I saw at this animal hospital. Because when I thought that my city, Bangalore, didn't have animals, there were bats, there were ducks, there were tortoises, there were jackals in the city. Huh? Yeah, there was a monitor lizard, there were lots of snakes in the city. So when we actually start looking, even in your own city, you'll see lots of birds and insects and animals. Now what I want you to do is today, we'll do an activity. Yes, you have a question. Oh, we have pangolins in the outskirts of Bangalore. So if you see all these very rocky areas, even in Hyderabad on the outskirts, lot of forest with rocks, you'll actually find pangolins there. Yeah, Bangalore had a lot of pangolins when I was a student. Yes. Yeah. Huh? You saw leopard? Where? Where did you see a leopard? Sri Lanka. Oh, wow. You also saw? Okay, lovely. So you have seen a lot of wildlife. But you know what we'll do now? Yeah.
I think there are hundreds and thousands and billions of animals out there.
Yes, definitely. So what's your name? What's your name?
Sahas.
Huh? Sahas. Sahas thinks there are hundreds and thousands and billions of animals in the world, which is very, very true. Okay, so now what we'll do today, we'll do an art activity where we'll see how many different kinds of wild animals we have in your city, in Hyderabad. Okay. Okay, now I would want all the children to come in front. If there are kids from behind, can you all come front? Yeah. Yeah. Now I'll just divide you into a few groups. Yeah, actually some of you can go on the stage and some. You want to spider? Yeah. For what?
Can I have a snake?
But I consider myself quite shy.
Can I have a snake?
Everyone has pencil and paper?
Yep.
Huh? You have to draw an animal. I'll find a snake for you. Yeah.
Is there another snake?
Paper here
You
as
can
well.
share the pictures also. If 2 or 3 of you want to do the same animal, you can sit around it. You will do that? Okay. You didn't get a paper. I'm so sorry. That is too hard. Okay, we'll find that. You can see. You come and sit here. You have a paper? Yeah. You sit here. They're doing a
Anybody
snake.
wants
This
a
is
dragonfly? You all get together and draw. Yes. Who wants a lizard? You can come and sit here and share. Okay. There's a cricket. Anybody wants a cricket? Okay.
You have to make you.
A praying mantis.
You want a pencil? Pencil सब कहाँ है? Pencil है क्या?
Just. Who wants pencil?
See if anyone wants to do that.
See, if any of you don't want to copy the photograph that is given, you can also draw an animal that you like, but it has to be some animal that you see in your city. Okay? It could be a bird, a snake, a frog, a lizard. Okay? Yeah. A spider, centipede. Just think of some animal that you can see in a city. No need to draw like giraffes and zebras and lions and all that. Yeah.
Some people get it.
You can sit there. Come and sit there. You can see the snake.
I'm done. You can start coloring also if you're done.
You can share the colors.
Auntie,
Can you join?
I'm
Drawing any animals you see
One guy pressing the pencil. What's that?
Dogs and cats, it has to be only wild animal. So either
You have some wild animals.
yes, you can also copy something from the screen.
Also there are some wild.
Yeah, copy from the screen or
Yeah, we will give you a license, okay? Just give me a moment.
yeah.
Lizard,
Huh.
Kavya,
bird.
No, we can't see an elephant in the city, right? But that's in captivity. Wildly, it's not wild like roaming around. Huh? Butterfly you can. Yeah.
I can.
Yes, nice.
Can
Yeah.
I draw one more?
Yes. So you can draw butterflies, you can draw spiders, lizards, snakes, birds, but no big animals because we don't see lions and tigers and elephants in a big city like ours. But elephants are not roaming. Are elephants roaming in Hyderabad? Huh? I'll give you color. Are elephants roaming in Hyderabad? Yes, yeah. Huh.
You can share the colors with two.
You can draw frogs as well. You can draw any bird that you like if you don't want to. So the photographs that I've given you are actual animals from a city. So you can either copy that or... You don't have a picture? Can you share with them?
You see there is a
Come with them. You can
screen
copy
also
that.
you can-
Those of you who have already done with coloring, you can actually cut your animal.
Animal, you can look at the screen. Turn around.
ma'am, you can take this. It's like 10%.
Oh, okay. For
no,
no
it was-
new ones. Yeah. Finish?
One color?
So when we say wild animals, it's not only lion, tiger, and elephants. No camel. No camel. So birds, butterflies, bees, grasshoppers, spiders. You're done? Okay, you can actually cut that. We'll help you cut your artwork, okay?
Yeah, we will cut everything.
I'm done.
You're done? Just ask him to cut it out and give it to you.
Those who have done coloring, take the help of Kavya and Shabir to cut your drawings. Okay?
I love this snake.
Wow. What snake is yours? Cobra. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, you can cut this also. There is one more pair of scissors here.
You know, so some of you have drawn cobras. Do you think all cobras attack? No. Why don't they attack?
Because sometimes they're scared of like ants or something, or else they don't have venom.
Yeah.
They are poisonous snakes, but or else they remove poison.
Yes. Okay. So, for those who are very scared of cobras, let me. How many of you are scared of cobras here? How many of you are scared of cobras? Okay. So basically the poison or venom that they have, it's actually used for digestion. So snakes will not waste their venom so easily. Many of the times they just warn people, or even when they attack, they give something called as the dry bite, which is they bite but they don't inject venom into people. So, so because they have to save their venom for their digestion. Yeah. Huh.
Somebody is like actually poisoned by the venom. They actually like take the venom from the same snake. Like squish it, and the poison is released out from its teeth. And after that, they start like because it would become anti-venom. They start giving it to the person, and the person is released.
Yeah, they collect the venom and then they have to do something to be. You need a paper? Yeah. I'll give you a pencil. No, they'll have to. So there are few photographs of wild animals. She'll have to copy one of them. Yeah.
Some on the screen.
Yeah, or some on the screen, or any wild animal that you have seen in your city in Hyderabad. Okay, you're done with cutting? Okay. Done? You'll have to cut that.
I drew a spider and a cat.
Huh?
I drew a spider and a cat.
Okay, okay. I think I'll use this table for the... What was that all about? Tell me also, no?
Yeah, I think he's finished.
Okay, we'll have to stick this.
Okay.
Maybe I'll...
We just need some space.
It's in the book store.
Okay, you put it here, okay?
Just take
Okay, can you take off that thing?
Yeah.
Just keep this here.
Just if you can move that side, we need the table.
What is your name?
Yeah, you can hand over what you have done to them. If you're finished drawing, take your this thing to Kavya or...
Okay, so first you have to draw and color your animal. Then you can take help of Kavya and Shabir, right? And you cut your animal. After that, there's a chart here. You will have to come and stick your animal based on where is it found, like whether it's found on the ground or it's found flying or it's found on a tree. So based on that, you have to stick your animal on this chart.
Can they start?
Yes, they can start sticking, yeah.
You can ask her to do it.
Yes, if you can help the others a little bit, yeah.
Any other animals?
I can take this. Thank you.
After it's cut here.
So you can come and stick your animals on this chart. So if your insect is something, if for a snake you have to stick it below the chart paper, the bottommost part. If it's a flying bird, it has to be in the sky. Yeah, you'll have to, okay, take their help and just cut it.
Just be careful. No, it's staring small ones, they shouldn't fly up.
It's actually
Yeah.
staring into your soul.
Where will butterfly be?
It's flying, right? So we'll write it somewhere here. Flying butterfly? Yes.
Butterfly is
Yeah, butterflies are flying.
You see how beautiful this is.
The power. Look at the superpower butterfly.
Where will snake be?
Snake is on the ground. You tell me, where will snakes be?
I need
You need eraser.
I can't. The snake is catching
Butterfly.
Why? Okay, those who want to stick, come and get one. This is the bad line. Okay, wow, you have Russell's.
Dinosaur.
That's actually, who's the snake, okay?
And
But actually, so we'll stick whatever.
Actually, only yeah, 1 second. You're actually only supposed scissors. Tiny scissors.
I want to ask the bhaiya to cut it.
Like, I'll skip because Hyderabad's most wildlife. But I was talking about animals. Okay, maybe more like
We can have. What is that? We can have nice idol and not enough space for it.
and let's take another. What is this?
There are some
Dinosaur.
Oh, dinosaur will skip because dinosaurs are not in home. That's also okay. Okay, can I just show this chart? Yeah. Actually, you can take another chart paper as well. How many wildlife you have in your city? Yeah? Can you all, so those of you who are behind, can you see the chart here? Can you come down, please? Come down, please. Can you tell me what animals are there in your city? Huh? Butterflies, yes, then? Snakes, what else? Frogs, yes. What else? What else do you see? Owl, huh? Then? There's a bat, yes. There's a grasshopper, owl, spider, different kinds of snakes. Huh? Elephant also. So, there's a snail. So, now do you realize how many wild animals we can see in our city? Yeah?
There's one more chart.
Yes, there's one more chart. Even that chart is getting full. Okay, so try and look around. You'll always find little animals in your city. Okay, they're all wild animals.
Can I say happy Hyderabad Literature Festival?
Which festival?
Can I say happy Hyderabad Literature Festival?
Yes, tell.
Happy Hyderabad Literature Festival.
I'll put the thumb. Turn it, I'll put the thumb. Okay. You stick it wherever you want. Turn it.
Wait, I want to put this
Turn
in
it
this.
first, I'll put the thumb.
Okay, if you want to know more about Ela and the wildlife in your city, the book is available in the bookshop there. Okay? Thank you. Yeah.
Story about,
Huh?
what's the story about
My cat? What is my cat?
what's the story about?
Thank you everyone, and such beautiful wild animals. They are in all colors and shapes and sizes. So thank you everyone. We wind up Nana Nukkad with this session this year. And for sure we'll be back next year with lots more fun, lots more events, and lots more kids, hopefully. Thank you so much.